Welcome back everybody, Sive is here with the Forex Peace Army.com. Let's update our view on the gold market. So you can see that yesterday gold still wasn't able to restart the upward direction. In general, we talked about two different scenarios. First is supposedly we decided to keep an eye on a minor support area on the intraday charts and said take a look. Here is not bad area. We could try and take the position. Here is relatively safe and see what will happen. But at the same time, we already talked about this overall bearish picture that we have on the higher time frames. And currently we could repeat the same stuff. That's the actually flag after the collapse, and always keep chances and keep the open for another leg down. So I'm kind of the ABCD. So here in fact we could consider two different targets. First is the ABCD based on this drop, but also we could consider this kind of the ABC top COP target. We will not consider the OP that will stand below this area because we're still thinking that grabber has chances to success. That's why first we consider near standing targets, and besides these targets might be used for thinking on the position taken if indeed we will get this drop. But currently let's see what's going on around inside of it. In fact, we can't say that actually this drop is something extraordinary, so it's really big, but it could have some background. So maybe this is careful attempts of the investors to accumulate a bit of cash, preparing for possible impact and consequences on the stock market. So they would be ready for possible margin calls and something like this. Maybe some demand for, I don't know, some other currencies as a Swiss franc, for instance, or some money is moving into the bonds market and the United States treasuries, for instance. But this is, I suppose, has no relation to fundamental valuation of the gold market. This is mostly some technical global reposition of the portfolios of the big investors. So something might be behind of this. Mostly it will it has the technical background, but unfortunately it's impossible to say where and when it might be over, because now we're turning to some long-lasting conflict in the Middle East. What particular consequences it will bring, it's very difficult to say. I think nobody could. And the first, it might be some sell-off on across the board on some commodities, just to accumulate some assets to protect possible positions in the financial markets. That might be one of the reasons. Anyway, currently you can see that market on the 4-time frame chart stands on the 618 support, 5061. But since gold was not able to restart the upward direction right from here, when we thought it has chances to do this, it has tried, but it hasn't led to real reversal. Just minor pullback has happened, and it's keep going lower. I think that's on this chart we need to consider at least the COP target, which stands around 4777. 4977. So this target might be completed, might be reached. OP stands a bit far, so 4815. But first, I still would not ignore this level, just because it also stands inside of the confidence support, and it's in general relatively strong support area. So we need to keep an eye on it. But touching of this target seems very probable. It's just chances for that are rising. It's just because of this performance. So market inability to hold on the short-term levels, intraday levels. Once they have failed, it means that it's going to the larger scale ones, such as we have on the 4-time frame chart. On the hourly chart, you could see also some signs of the possible, downside continuation, because in general, you can see we have the ABCD. Now market stands in agreement, showing some pullback, but take a look at the CD leg. We have really fast acceleration compared to this one. And it's also bearish signs suggesting that market really could try to keep moving lower. So XOP in this case will be somewhere near the lows. So that's overall observations that we could make on the gold market. Currently, despite the market stands at some support, I wouldn't consider taking new longs. So yesterday we taking a long position here. Bounce has happened, but we haven't got any loss, but in general we haven't got the upward continuation as well. So as I explained earlier, it means that market now will consider far standing downside targets. If you hold some shorts here, well, that's great. So just keep trying to hold them and keep an eye on the levels that we have specified. Maybe it will be handy to you. So that's probably all for now on gold. Today's Friday. Let's take a look at the personal consumption expenditures numbers and see you in the weekend. We'll decide what to do in the next week.